Okay, late getting started this morning. There were some technical things going on around the house, so a little bit late getting started with the preview, but at least we know most of the starting goaltenders are, so that's a bonus above what many of the previews will tend to have in them. And some interesting matchups tonight, and we'll go ahead and jump right in with the Tampa Bay Lightning in against the Boston Bruins. And this is a big game between two teams that have not lost in regulation yet this month, so maybe we can expect overtime between the two. That actually wouldn't really surprise me. Both of these teams are playing extremely well. That being said, the Tampa Bay Lightning are at 49-11-4. That's right, they can win their 50th game of the season tonight. 50th. It's obnoxious and it's obscene, and they don't care. On the road, they're 22-6-2, and in February they're 12-0-2. So it's been a pretty impressive February, considering they've been very busy during February. This is their 15th game in 28 days, and so they're a very busy team. Their leading scorer is Nikita Kucherov with 30 goals, 74 assists for 104 points. It's a good total for a full season. He's nowhere near a full season yet. Power play points, Kucherov leads there with 41. Hits leader is Cedric Paquette with 211, and their leader in shots, Steven Stamkos with 190. Their starting goalie, Demang, is listed as projected, but I guess it could be Demang. It really doesn't matter. They win every game, doesn't matter who's in. Vasilevsky's 29-7-4 with a 930 save percentage. Demang is 19-4 with a 908 save percentage. So it could be either of them. On the Boston side of things, they're 37-17-9, which would be a great looking record. They're 20 games above 500, but they're up against a team that's 38 games above 500. They're 22-7-3 at home, so that's good for Boston. It's very close to the road record for Tampa. They have lost the one game against Tampa this year. Tampa leads the season series 1-0. February has been a good month for Boston. They're 10-0-2 in February. Marchand's their leading scorer with 25 goals, 49 assists for 74 points. Power play points, Pastrnak leads with 29. So him being out definitely affects their power play. Hits leader, Wagner with 204. Chris Wagner's been fantastic. And Pastrnak leads in shots with 206. So despite the fact he's missed as much time as he has, he's still the shots leader. Starting goaltender, Rask is starting tonight for Boston. He's 28-5 with a 920 save percentage. Halak is 17-9-4 with a 924 save percentage. So when you look at this matchup, it's really kind of a battle of the Titans. And if Boston can win this one, it puts extra pressure on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Really puts Montreal behind the 8-ball. They can do themselves a great favor. All they have to do is defeat a team that's lost a grand total of 11 games in regulation this year, which is easier said than done when you consider they've played 64 games and this will be 65. I have mentioned how obnoxious it is, right? It's a very impressive run, and what we're witnessing with Tampa here is a run that's historic. It really is. It's been a historic run for them, and we'll see how much further it goes. That being said, we're moving on to Vancouver. 27-28-9 following the loss in overtime last night, in a shootout last night against the Colorado Avalanche. They're in against the 30-28-5 Arizona Coyotes, who have not given up on this season, and nor should they. Vancouver, in their record, they're 13-16-5 on the road, so that road record is not getting better. In February, they're 4-6-3. So while Vancouver's played well, the issue with Vancouver is simple. I don't think that their defensive depth is where you'd like to see it. And I think that in terms of offense, I think this is why they added Tanner Pearson. I think Tanner Pearson is supposed to help juice things up a little bit offensively. He played well last night. He just didn't get on the board. Their leading scorer is Peterson, whatever you want to call him. 26 goals, 30 assists, 56 points for him. Power play points, also the rookie there with 16. Hits leader is Tyler Mott with 169. Shots leader is Bo Horvat with 187. Starting goaltender, no confirmation yet. Since it's Arizona, it could very well be Demko. Demko's supposed to be healthy, so he could go in here. Markstrom's 23-18-8 with a 913 save percentage. Demko's won his only start this year. He has a 923 save percentage overall. Arizona, at home, not a great record. They're 13, 14, and 3, but Arizona's won all 3 meetings they've had with Vancouver this year. So overall, they like to play against the Canucks. It's a good matchup for them. February's been a better month for Arizona than it's been for Vancouver. They're 7, 5, and 1 in the month of February. Clayton Keller's their leading scorer with 12 goals, 28 assists for 40 points. That is the lowest total of a points leader in the NHL. Power play points, Galchenyuk leads there with 18. Hits leader, Lawson Krause with 213. Shots leader is Stepan with 179. Goaltenders, Kemper's been confirmed as the starter. That makes Pickard the backup. Pickard's 4, 5, and 2 with an 875 save percentage. Darcy Kemper's 18, 14, and 5 with a 916 save percentage. And he is a major reason why Arizona is still in the hunt, sort of like Vancouver has with Jacob Markstrom as well. And word's getting out around the league that both of these guys are playing pretty well. And I do wonder in the offseason, if Kemper continues this kind of pace and keeps up these numbers, does it free up a trade of Antti Raanta in the offseason or Darcy Kemper? Because they've both shown that they can be starters. Raanta, not necessarily a guy who stays healthy as a starter, but he can be a starter. For Arizona, the math isn't that bad now in terms of them getting into the playoffs. They just need one of the teams ahead of them to really cool off. For Vancouver, it's tricky. It's a challenge to see Vancouver in the playoffs. But hey, they've won 27 out of 64 games. This is kind of how I view it. If you've won 27 out of 64, to me, it's not a big surprise if you find yourself likely missing the playoffs. But that's me. I really like teams that win half their games being the ones that make the playoffs. That's why I sort of envy basketball that way. Not in any other fashion, but the record the way that it is in basketball. Baseball too. There's no gray area there. All right. Next up, Dallas. Dallas Stars 31, 27, and 5 in against the 22, 33, and 7 and fading fast LA Kings. On the road, however, Dallas, it's not great. They're 12, 17, and 3 now on the road. They've won 12 out of 32. Dallas now finds themselves 1 point behind Colorado for that last playoff spot. This is that game in hand they have on Colorado, so there's pressure on them to win this. In the month of February, Dallas is 6, 6, and 1. And they added Zuccarello. They felt that was what they needed, and then, of course, Zuccarello gets hurt. And I don't know exactly where Dallas is at right now. I do know that this is a great test of their depth. I just have doubt when it comes to their depth. Tyler Seguin's their leading scorer with 26 goals and 32 assists. Power play points leader is also Seguin with 17. Hits leader is Como with 167. And their shots leader, of course, is Tyler Seguin as well. 247 shots on net. Hudobin's been confirmed as the starter. He's 12, 13, and 3 with a 923 save percentage. Bishop's the backup at 19, 14, and 2 with a 925 save percentage. On the LA side of things, it's just been an ugly season. And the last game showed signs that maybe it'll get uglier before it gets any better. They're 12, 15, and 2 at home. So that's not a great record. They're 3, 7, and 3 in February. So they've only won 3 out of 13 in February. But they've got Dallas coming in, and Dallas's road record. I've talked about it. Kopitar's their leading scorer, 17 goals, 27 assists. That 44 points. That is the lowest leading scorer next to Arizona. Kopitar has not had a fantastic season. I think there's a lot of guys in LA you could say that about. The fact that none of them get traded around deadline time means that for LA, there's still some hope for some of these guys rebounding next season. That's still going to be there. Power play points, Doughty leads there with 18. Hits leader is Doughty as well with 132. And shots leader is Toffoli with 174. Goaltenders, no confirmation here. I would say Campbell. Honestly, after the last game, you kind of have to go with Campbell, don't you? Quick is now 11, 17, and 5 with an 892 save percentage. And the numbers are getting ugly enough that you have to ask yourself, is Quick dealing with an injury, or is this just a bad year for him as well? You can lump him in with the other veterans in LA that are having an off season. Campbell's 7, 11, and 1 with a 927 save percentage. So the overall numbers, not favorable to the LA Kings on any level. And yet, as a fan of the Stars, I wouldn't be surprised. It's sort of ingrained in me at this stage of the game that they're backing their way out, and it's that time of year again. Toronto. So this is the big return tonight. John Tavares at Nassau. He's going to get booed. He's going to get booed heavily. You can expect that, and probably every time he touches the puck, he'll get booed. The Leafs are 39-20-4, and it's funny. If they were in any other division, we'd be talking about what a fantastic season they're having, and yet, because they're in the same division as Boston and Tampa, it does kind of get overlooked. And also, because the media will overanalyze every player on the team and every line and every shift, it gives you this idea that somehow Toronto's going through these dramatic struggles that really aren't there. They're 39-20-4. They've won 39 out of 63 games. They're fine. And they're 19-8-3 on the road. They're 9-3-2 in February. So Toronto's doing quite well. I know yesterday on Tim and Sid, they mentioned Marner had gone 4 out of 5 games without a point. Well, he got points last night. So Marner had a good game last night, as did many of the Leafs against the Oilers. Tonight's going to be a little bit different. Tonight the Oilers are in against the New York Islanders. Marner's the leading scorer for Toronto with 22 goals, 52 assists for 74 points. Their power play points leader is Marner as well with 18. Hits leader is Jake Muzzin with 142 shots. That's Tavares at 223. Sparks is the starting goalie. He's 7-4-1 with a .908 save percentage. Makes Anderson the backup with a 30-13-3 record and a .923 save percentage. I'm kind of surprised that Sparks didn't start against the Oilers and Anderson's not starting tonight because they're against the Islanders. And the Islanders are excellent. They're 36-19-7. They're 18-8-4 at home. And the Islanders have won the only meeting between these teams this year. I didn't mention either. Dallas and LA, that season series is tied at 1, so tonight we'll decide that. But here, the New York Islanders have won the only meeting between these teams. Now, in the month of February, the Islanders are 7-4-2. They actually haven't been as strong in February as they've been in other months. Barzal's their leading scorer with 17 goals, 34 assists. Power play points leader, Barzal as well with 18 of them. Hits leader is Matt Martin with 215, and your leader with shots is Lee with 162. Robin Leonard's been confirmed as the starter. He is 19-10-5 with a .929 save percentage. That makes Grice the backup at 17-9-2 and a .928 save percentage. Again, if you're going there to boo John Tavares, you're probably going to enjoy yourself. If you're going there to cheer John Tavares, I think you'll probably enjoy yourself as well, because I think this is going to be an excellent game. Games at Nassau have this NHL feel to them, oddly enough, after all these years at Barclays. Now, Nassau's capacity is not great, so the actual amount of fans in attendance isn't as large as it might look on television, but at least it's loud. At least it's loud, and at least it feels like there's a real energy there. So when the new arena goes up over the next little while here, it may very well revitalize that whole organization, outside of the fact that this year their record is excellent, and they've got the right management team, they've got the right coach. Now it's just a matter of having the right arena. All right, next up, Philly. The Flyers clinging desperately to any hope they have left. And they've been excellent this month as well, but when you have that much ground to make up, and they lost a bunch of games in a row, and then they went through all the Hackstall things that went down. Now they're trying to dig their way out. They're at 30-26-7, which is not a bad record overall. But they're in against the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight, and the Blue Jackets are up against it. The Blue Jackets come into tonight sitting a point out of the playoffs, so they need to win. Philly also needs to win to keep any hopes they have alive. They're 13-14-3 on the road. They're 8-3-1 in February. February's been a good month for them. Claude Giroux's their leading scorer with 19 goals and 46 assists. That's 65 points. And power play points, Giroux leads with 17. Your hits leader is Radko Gudas with 201. Shots leader is Giroux with 179. Starting goaltender will be Brian Elliott. Elliott is 8-7 now with a .919 save percentage. Carter Hart 13, 8, and 1 with a 917 save percentage. And somewhere, Cam Talbot saying, why'd they trade for me? What's good? Why? So yeah, there's that question as well that's been out there, I think, since Talbot was acquired by the Flyers. On the Columbus side of things, they're 35, 24, and 3. 1 point out of the playoffs, as I said, with 73 points. At home, they're 16, 14, and 2. Their home record is a big part of the reason why they're where they're at. If they had a stronger home record, they would be right up with the Islanders, perhaps first in the division, and we wouldn't be having this discussion about them needing this game to get in. They have won all 3 meetings with the Philadelphia Flyers this year, so they can make it 4. They're 7-5 in February, and they've got to get to 8-5 in February night. Panarin is their leading scorer, 25 goals, 45 assists for him. Panarin also leads the team with points on the power play with 15. Your hits leader is Anderson with 157. Shots leader, that's Cam Atkinson with 237. Starting goaltender tonight will be Sergei Bobrovsky. He will play a ton. That makes the backup Korpisalo at 9-5-2 and an 896 save percentage. Bobrovsky 26-19-1 with a 907 save percentage. Bobrovsky's numbers have been getting better, which means that his potential payoff in the offseason will be going up. I'm not sure how much, though. Bobrovsky's one of those guys that I look at and I say, somebody may very well overpay for him this summer. And if Columbus isn't able to retain him, who does Columbus go to in net is the next question, right? And maybe Brian Elliott will be the guy as soon as next summer that they look at and say, all right, he's our guy. But that'd be within the division, and I don't know. We'll see. Although Philly and Columbus previously have exchanged a goaltender, and that Bobrovsky was Philadelphia property at one time. And that's why I kind of find it weird when people say, oh, well, maybe the Flyers could pick up Bobrovsky. I don't think that could happen. Even this summer, I'd be shocked if he went to Philly. I really would. That being said, we're moving on. Oilers in against the Senators in the game you won't be watching unless you're a fan of the Oilers and the Senators. And if you're a fan of the Senators and you're watching this game, I applaud you. I do. The Oilers are 26-30-7 overall. On the road, they're 12-15-5. And this is bad. And Ken Hitchcock's been trying to talk positively about it. Again, I think that could be because when he came out and he said, basically this team just, the effort's not there and I'm sick of this, the management came out and said, now, Ken, you got to say something positive. So he's like, all right, everything's great. It's all rosy. And really, when you look at their record in February, they're 3-6-4. 13 games played, they've won 3. But if you listen to Ken Hitchcock tell the story right now, they've played very well in February, and they've been close in a lot of these games. I do wonder if he actually feels that way. I'd be very curious to know if he actually feels that way. There may be a story from him after his time in Edmonton's over. Maybe there will be a story to tell here. McDavid's their leading scorer with 32 goals, 54 assists for 86 points. Their power play points leader is McDavid as well with 29. Hits leader, that's Lucic with 215. That's what your millions of dollars will get you, is those hits. McDavid leads them in shots with 187. Koskinen's been confirmed as the starter. Next year there will be 4.5 million reasons to put him in as the starter. That makes Stallers the backup. He's 4-3-3 with a 902 save percentage. Koskinen 16-15-4 with a 907 save percentage. On the Senators' side of this first meeting between these two teams this year, that's right, you get another meeting between these two teams in Edmonton later. 22-36-5 for the Senators. That's abysmal. They're 14-14-4 at home. They're 3-10 in February. I remember in January talking about how as bad as things have been, at least they're better than last year. They're trending better than last year. I don't know if they heard me and they said, all right, and they doubled down on it, but whatever happened, February's been absolutely atrocious. And most of this was before they traded away their heart and soul up front. Their leading scorer right now is Chabot. Yeah. 13 goals, 34 assists, 47 points. Thomas Chabot is now your leading scorer for the Ottawa Senators. Power play points, Chabot and Ryan lead the way there with 13 each. Bobby Ryan leads the team in an offensive category. Hits leader, Borowiecki, 155. Shots, Chabot leads there as well with 148. Goaltenders, Craig Anderson's been confirmed as the starter. Nilsson had those really good starts early on, and it's really fallen off the map for him. Nilsson's 10, 16, and 1 with a 903 save percentage. Anderson's 14, 20, and 3 with a 905 save percentage. And before anybody says anything, yes, I understand Ottawa's been bad in front of him, but Nilsson does tend to be a hot and cold goaltender as well. We went through that in Vancouver. Other teams have seen that as well, and it would appear that he's on one of his cold streaks right now. So it'll be Anderson tonight, and we'll see if he starts the lion's share of games from here. Yeah, so that's that game. Last but not least, definitely not least, Florida, who are trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. 28, 25, and 9. They're not that far off from Philly. So, yeah, I'm not going to believe it, though. I'm not. They're in against the 33, 26, and 5 Vegas Golden Knights. So Vegas, 1-0 since the trade deadline. They won that game over the Dallas Stars. And they outplayed Dallas badly, but Ben Bishop kind of went in and did his thefting thing that he does. Now they get to play against Florida. Florida won the only meeting between these two teams in Florida this year. Now this is the meeting in Vegas to decide whether or not Florida wins the season series. Florida is 12, 14, and 4 on the road. They're 8, 5, and 1 in February. Better record in February than many people might expect. Because it's February, it's not October. Barkov, their leading scorer, 26 goals and 40 assists for 66 points. Power play points leader is Keith Yandel with 30. Hits leader is Brouwer with 125. Shots leader is Hoffman with 198. Still a Panther. No confirmation on goaltender. I would think that if Reimer's still dealing with an injury, that Luongo will start. He's 14, 13, and 2 with an 897 save percentage. Reimer's 13, 11, and 5 with a 902 save percentage. And that's sort of been Reimer's luck. If he starts playing well, he'll get hurt. Or he'll just nosedive for a game and everybody forgets the good stuff that he did before that one. On the Vegas side of things, 33, 26, and 5. They're 18, 10, and 4 at home now. 4, 7, and 1 in February. So they're really hoping. They are banking on Mark Stone turning the entire team around. And Stone offensively is a player they haven't had this year. That star power guy they have not had in Vegas. He's their leading scorer now with 28 goals and 34 assists that he brought over from Ottawa. He also leads in power play points with 17. So he may very well help to get that power play up into the top 5 or 6 in the NHL. Their hits leader is Carrier with 247. That's insanity. And shots leader is Marchessault with 231. So Marchessault is still taking a ton of shots. And on the same line with Stone, that could very well help Marchessault out a lot as well. Because teams will cheat over to cover Stone. And Stone's not afraid to dish the puck off either. He's not a puck hog by any stretch. And he should be rejuvenated playing for a team with games that mean something, unlike the team he came from where games really don't mean anything right now. Malcolm Subban is listed as likely tonight. So Subban may very well play tonight against the Panthers. We'll see how that goes. Fleury is 30, 19, and 5 with a 907 save percentage. Malcolm Subban, 3 and 6, but that save percentage of 912, that's pretty solid considering where it started this year. He's been pretty darn good in his last 4 starts. He's been pretty good. And we'll see if he can make it 5 if he is indeed the starter tonight. This is going to be a big game for both teams in that Florida may very well feel that they can get back into the hunt with another couple of wins. They would need some help with other teams ahead of them losing. But Florida still playing games that may very well end up meaning something. They did not sell off everybody they could have, and maybe that's part of the reason why. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below regarding tonight's 7 games. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just tap it upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.